Hi, this is Double A.
And Pickles.
Welcome to this week's episode of the unofficial Red Sox Fantasy Campers podcast.
Yes, and here we sit with, less than 2 weeks to go.
And we just came out of batting practice with Victor, and Patty, Little Sexy, came down from the St. Pete
Patty
area.
Ward. Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah, so she got a feel for already hitting some balls, and everybody did pretty well today.
Yep, and we did notice that the coaches are teamed up a little bit differently this year.
Yes.
Because my two coaches are split this year. Oh. So Manny and Danny are on different teams this year.
Oh, right.
So, and then Victor has
back.
a different...
Oh, Victor has Keith Folk. Yeah, and
Trot
so it's back. Right?
Yeah, so coaching's going to look different this year.
But we'll roll with it. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
New people.
I want to say last week when we were putting out the last podcast that, it was so well received, not only with the comments on the podcast itself, but backdooring me with messages and stuff. But I have to say...
Probably I wouldn't word it like that, maybe.
Oh, well, just
private messaging, maybe?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, private messaging.
I don't know.
Yeah, don't ever say that phrase.
What did I say?
Backdooring.
Oh, okay. Is that the DM? Is that what the people on the...
Yeah, slide into my DMs, which actually that kind of sounds gross too, but yeah.
Well, anyway, the whole point
Words
is
matter.
that these people are such a wealth of knowledge, and to hear the beginning of this camp is just unbelievable. And I am going to sit down and try to take notes from what everybody wrote and put something together so we have like a chronological order of how this thing happened. And we'll be talking to people at camp as well.
Isn't there such like a sentimental feel to this camp? Like everyone gets so excited.
Yes. I just loved hearing people's experiences and the pictures of people sliding into the base and everything.
And the pictures of the first year. Yeah. It was really neat.
Now, I want to also say that I want to thank Lisa Lombardo for, when I was a rookie, for grabbing my cell phone, and whoever established the practice of taking the rookie's cell phone to record them as they went in search of their locker. That was like a fabulous thing to do. It was such exciting moments to round the corner and see the bat up there with my name and stuff. And I don't know who thought to do that, but keep it up. And maybe I'll grab a rookie's camera this year, their phone, because did that happen to you?
We filmed it because we were filming for some other purpose. So we were filming me coming into the locker room, and then I filmed Christine. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Well, yeah, so this was what the campers, do. They grab a rookie's phone and they record you running in looking for your locker. And it was great because my sister Jay was next to me, so the two of us are whooping it up as we find our locker. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. One other thing I wanted to ask about is, in the dugouts, are there plugs to plug in the things that make your legs when they're really sore? They vibrate those machines.
You're going to do that in the dugout?
Well, if they have plugs. Now, I know last year a lady had a thing that looked like a gun, like you press the button and the thing went all over your legs, So my legs were in such bad shape this year.
This is getting weird. You had a really weird dugout.
She wasn't even on my team, so I must have just seen her somewhere, yeah. But the thing is, if you're in pain and you have these devices, which I have, should I bring them, and can they be plugged into the dugout? Is there a plug in the dugout? That's a question for everybody, because I wonder if anyone would have noticed.
Answer, yeah.
I never noticed.
I know there's a phone in there.
There's a phone, yeah.
Yep.
All right, so that's just the question of the day. How's that?
Okay.
All right, and what would you like to talk about?
I want to talk about a couple of the funny stories from camp last year.
Okay.
And actually, one of them is from Fenway, involving Dwerdy.
Oh.
So I'm just going to tell you this funny story, but ladies, please don't ask who I'm talking about, because I don't want to reveal the person's name. But basically, when we were on the field at JetBlue, I saw somebody and I was like, oh, he's cute, because we love men in uniform, right? So he had the glasses and the hat and everything. And then later on, Christine and I are in the cafeteria, and this person comes up to me and says, Angelina, blah, 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 and starts talking to me. And I looked at Christine. He had regular clothes on. And I look at Christine and I go, who was that man? And she said, that was the guy you said was cute on the field. And I go, oh, he looks different. I didn't even recognize him. And she said, I had baseball goggles.
Meaning what? The man in baseball uniform?
Well, like the beer goggles when you're drunk, like the person you're hitting on is like way more attractive than when you wake up later or whatever. So she was saying I had I had baseball goggles because he looked super good out there, and I didn't even recognize him without his uniform on. That doesn't sound right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was dressed. Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, I didn't recognize him out of his uniform. No, he had like regular clothes on.
A lot of double innuendo.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then the other funny story I want to tell was we were at, so last year, for the ladies that don't know, so Dwerty was on my team, and Manny Del Carmen was our pitcher. And so for Fenway at the reunion game, he was pitching, and she was on my opposite team there. Oh. And Manny hit her, and they're friends, so he was kidding. So he hit her, and she flattened down on the ground. She fell to the ground, flattened out with her tongue out, acting like she was dead. And Manny's yelling from the mound, good. And everyone started, it probably doesn't sound that funny. It was so funny. We were all laughing so hard. I wish I had gotten on film.
That was at Fenway?
It was at Fenway, wow. And it was so funny.
Wow.
All right, so do you have a funny story?
Well, when my rookie season, when I was on the Comets and Jay was on my team too, my sister, we were always out in the outfield. And on our last game, because we went 0 for 5 that year, and I believe Trot had a winning 3 seasons prior to that. So he has us, and Dwerty was on that team, and her sister, matter of fact, Dolly. And we're out, we're ready to hobble out to the outfield for our last inning, and he drives up in the golf cart that you see go around the camp quite often, with like Louis or Maybell in it. And he puts all of us outfielders in the golf cart and drove us out to the outfield.
Oh, that's funny.
We must have looked really in bad shape by the end of, and that was a shorter camp. That was like a day less, I believe. But that's what happened last year. And then the big thing that happened, that was 2 years ago. But last year was when they had the night of 2 truths and a lie. And which was a lot of fun. The coach was sitting on top of the dugouts, and you had to guess what the lie. But Bob Stanley's story went on and on and on, where you had to know it was a truth, because how could he make it up? And he was saying, I think his wife and Jerry Remy's wife had gone out to whether Chippendales or something like that, and they came home with thongs for their husbands. So, however it went on and on, it was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And so Mel orchestrated going out to either Walmart or a local, I don't want to say sex shop, whatever the hell is around here in Fort Myers. I never found one. I never looked, But anyway, all these ladies were holding on to thongs. And when Bob Stanley got up to make his speech the last night at the banquet, everyone was pelting him off the head with the thongs. And there are pictures with him wearing them on his head.
Oh, so, now that does remind me of a funny story, because Lenny DiNardo was involved in that too. He was at the podium getting those flung at him too.
Right.
So this is a funny story. So Christine and I go to, because my husband's not a Red Sox fan. I mean, he is okay. He'll watch the games with us and whatnot, but he's really he's from the South, poor guy. Oh. So he roots for the Braves. So Christine and I go to Fenway, a few months ago. So we're up there August. I'm up there for the reunion game, and we're like, hey, let's go see Lenny in the booth.
Oh.
So we went up, and Lenny's talking to someone, and he's like, hey. So he came over and started talking to us. And so we take the picture. So I sent it to my husband. My husband goes, oh, that's the guy on TV. Oh. And I go, Lenny? And he goes, yeah, that guy's on the sports booth on Nesson. And I go, he's one of the coaches from camp. And he goes, oh, I didn't know you knew him. So anyway, I just thought that was really, really funny. Because I said to Christine, I go, it is weird if you think about how much my life has changed in a year. Just from all the friends I've made. And I have access to certain people that I would never, ever be able to talk or meet. And I don't know, it's so much fun. I love camp so much.
I know, and it's less than 2 weeks away. Well, and when we see everyone, and, if we ask a lot of questions, you don't want to answer them, just walk away. But one of the things we said we were going to ask is what everybody did for a living or do for a living or what have you. But do you want to go first, or you want me to...
I think everyone knows, right? I'm a writer.
An author, published author of how many books?
3.
3 books. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You say it's so lackadaisically. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's good. I did interview her once for her regarding her books, and I asked 2 pages of questions, and it was fascinating hearing the way she writes. So she should tell you more, but we'll pull it out.
It'll be out.
Well, I worked for the phone company for 43 years. I retired at 60 4 years ago. I started in high school. And I had 7 different jobs, the last 3 being male-dominated jobs where I was one of the very few females in the last 3 years. The last 20 years, I was an engineer, an outside engineer, going in manholes, writing all the jobs for the guys that have the big trucks that go up on the poles or in the underground. So that was the last 20 years of my career. But like I said, that was male dominated, and I really ran the show. I wrote work orders, not work requests, so that was my career. But I want to say, when I started, I was an operator in Derby, Connecticut, the smallest city in the state, and I lived 3 blocks from the phone company. I would get out of school at 10:02, and I would get down to the phone company to work a 2 to 10 shift, where you work 2 to 5, and then between 5 and 6 you had an hour to do homework, and then I worked 6 to 10. So I did that for my senior year in high school. But the thing about this operator positions was all basically old ladies, and these old ladies had worked for the phone company in the time where they couldn't even wear pants. They had to wear dresses.
That was my grandmother. Yeah, my grandmother worked there.
Yeah, my mother too. So it was crazy. But these ladies, they kind of like sat in the same position every day, and God forbid you tried to take that chair and everything. But they had a flower pot that was up on the very first position, and if the flower pot was standing, you could go to the bathroom. You could take the pot, turn it upside down, and go to the ladies' room, and then return and stand it back up.
That's weird.
It was insane when you think about it this way. Can you imagine what union laws would say about that these days? Yeah. So there was a lady at the first position, and you were low. The chairs were low, and she had to reach her arm up. So if you were standing there jiggling, waiting for somebody to come back from the bathroom so you could run, they'd take the pot, they'd stand up, and all of a sudden there'd be this big hand would come up, and the lady in the first position would knock it over and stand up and almost like look at us and take a bow like she pulled it off again, and then she would so slow, you were dying, and she had to go down this long hallway, return to put the pot up. So, when I think back at being a 17-year-old high schooler, in the midst of this, it's a miracle I lasted 43 years, but that was my career, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's amazing, because my grandmother had a wonderful career, and she was like president of the union, and I don't know.
I was vice president of the union once.
All
in
those
one of my careers,
memories. It's a different life in Florida, because not too many unions down here.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
yeah.
Angelina says, I'm the busiest retired person she knows.
Yes, that's true. I have to go around Pickle's schedule if I want to do anything.
I know, I got to see what time it is, because I got an appointment at 12, so, I got
All right, well, ladies, we just want you to be prepared to share funny stories, and we already know some people have said I don't want to get interviewed because I'm an introvert, and that's okay. You definitely don't need to do that. If you hadn't noticed, Pickles and I are not introverts.
No, I never was called an introvert.
No, I never was.
Life. Yeah, but that's okay. But yeah, so it's either, we just want friendly conversation to compile with this information we got over the weekend from everybody, even from people from the start of camp that aren't even here anymore. You have funny stories. I think if we put all this together, they'd like to hear it. Maybe they'll let us know what happened in year 1 or 2, that was really funny, Yeah,
well, that sounds good, but we can't wait to see you ladies.
Yes.
So I think we're going to wrap up this episode, but just be mindful of anything funny that comes to mind.
Yeah, and keep swinging.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is Double A signing off.
And Pickles saying, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, stay safe, get down here safely, and
we can't wait to see you guys. All right, till next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.